Hello everybody and welcome back to Pikmin. This is the final video that we'll be doing for this series. Unfortunately, it makes me so sad. Anywho, what we'll be doing today is that we're going to be tackling the optional bosses of the game. There are 3 of them to be exact, but before we go take care of them, there's actually something that I promised that we'd be doing in the main series. One of the main bosses in the Forest Naval. It has a pretty awesome attack, but it never actually got to use it during the Let's Play. So I figured it'd be a pretty good idea to show it off now, while we have the chance. It's also worth mentioning that this is a completely different save file from the main Let's Play. After I recorded the three optional bosses, I deleted my save files, so I had to play up to this point again, and I was kind of doing it quick, and I was trying to do it as quickly as I could. So that explains why my Pikmin count is so off and stuff like that. Stop building the bridge! Stop it! I command you to stop! Okay, so what we'll be doing is that we have to go this way. The mushroom enemies that we defeated to get one of the fins for the dolphin. That's what we'll be fighting again. Hopefully it doesn't take too long, because if it does, I'm going to be very, very sad. Alright, this mushroom dude we'll be fighting again. We did fight him in the main series. He is kind of required. I think he's required, but he had an attack that he didn't use in the main series. So let's hope that he does it now. After you attack him for a little bit, this purple smoke will come up, and your Pikmin will turn into Mushroom Pikmin. The Mushroom Pikmin will go after Olimar and any Pikmin who weren't infected. And let me just say, their laugh is so creepy. Yeah, the Mushroom Pikmin are probably the scariest thing in any video game I've ever played. So yeah, when he's about to shoot out the mushroom purple stuff, yes. Call your Pikmin back and try to get him away from them as quickly as I can. Yay! You're defeated. And now onto the optional boss fights. The Distant Spring. Alrighty then, it is time for us to face our first optional boss fight. This is objectively the most difficult boss fight in the entire game. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's the most difficult one in the entire series. Mostly because I haven't finished Pikmin 3 yet, and I don't know what the final boss is like. But yeah, this is a very, very difficult boss fight. And it is actually kind of scary looking. And you'll see in a moment. Yeah, this is the only optional boss fight in this area. There's one optional boss fight in the Distant Spring. There are 2 of them at the Impact site, which I'll be showing later on in the video. So what we need to do is that we have to go check out this egg. I remember in my Let's Play where I warned you guys not to touch it. Now we're gonna touch the egg. Come on, get out! Hurry up! Hurry up! This scared me. Okay. So yeah, that's the Smoky Prog. He's kind of scary. He kind of reminds me of the legless monster from Tomb Raider games, which I'll talk about. And I'll explain why in a moment. But first, I'm gonna share some strategies how to fight this thing. Oh my god, there he is again! So what you want to do is that you want to have the red and the blue Pikmin with you. Well, there's actually a couple strategies on how to fight this thing. My personal favorite is to use the red and the blue Pikmin. The red Pikmin are the strongest out of them, and the blue Pikmin, just in case it goes into the water. Because if it goes in the water, it's not going to come out for a long time, so you want to make sure you have a lot of blues with you. This enemy will, that whistle attack that you can see right here, what that does is that it will call out Pikmin that you have not plucked yet. So before you fight this thing, make sure you pluck those Pikmin, because if you don't, then you might as well just say goodbye to those Pikmin. Another good strategy to fight against this thing, although I've never tried this one out for myself, another good strategy is to have a bunch of yellow Pikmin with a couple bomb rocks, and put them along the shoreline of the... put them along the shoreline, so that they'd throw the bomb rock at the Smoky Frog when it comes to shore. This is a very difficult boss fight, because this is the only poison enemy in the game, and Pikmin that were immune to poison did not come into the series until Pikmin 2, and to my knowledge, the Smoky Frog is not in Pikmin 2. You wanna throw it at the head, because if you throw it at the green trail, then the Pikmin will die from the poison, and it's very, very depressing and sad. And I just realized I lost a lot of Pikmin. I'm so sorry, Pikmin. Your death would not be in vain. You shall be avenged. So yeah, as I said a moment ago, this thing reminds me of the Legless monster from the Tomb Raider games. Because in that game, the Legless monster, it was an enemy, it was pretty much the most powerful enemy in Natla's army. It was pretty much the most powerful enemy in Natla's army. It would come out of an egg towards the top of the Great Pyramid, and... no, I don't want any more Pikmin. Okay. It was pretty much the most powerful enemy in Natla's army. It would come out of an egg, and it was very powerful, but it did not have legs. It had to crawl around the area. So what you had to do in that game was that you had to use, at least in the original game, you had to use the shotgun or the Uzis to defeat it. None of the other weapons would work. But in Tomb Raider Anniversary, it would try to roll it towards you. But if you did the adrenaline headshot correctly, then it would fall off the ledge. But enough about that game. Let's just talk about this one. We're a couple minutes into this battle, and only like a third of its health is destroyed. Yay! And we still losing Pikmin. Stop it! You realize how hard I worked to get these Pikmin! Okay, this battle takes a while. I'm probably going to end up speeding it up, but it's almost done, so let's see if we can defeat it quickly. Like I said, the Smoky Frog is probably the scariest thing in any video game ever. Mostly because of his eyes. His eyeballs are really, really terrifying to look at. But if it weren't for that, the Smoky Frog would actually be kind of adorable. But because of those soul-crushing eyeballs, it's scary. We defeated it! Yes! It's defeated! We defeated the Smoky Frog! And after all that, we get a gold pearl. Yay, it's so helpful. It's actually very helpful. The gold pearl, with it you get 100 Pikmin. So, now we're going to be going towards we're going to be returning to the impact site. So, I'll see you guys in a moment. And with the gold pearl of awesomeness, we get a lot of Pikmin! So many Pikmin! The impact site! So now we're going to be facing the first optional boss fight of the impact site. There's 2 of them to be exact. They are not nearly as hard as the Smoky Frog. So, yeah, the Smoky Frog, it was needless to say, that was very, very annoying to record. But now it's time to face the next one. That is the Mamuta. I think that's its name. And that's like the most fun name ever. It's like, Mamuta! That's like on the Addams Family when they're celebrating the Mamuska. Or something like that. Whatever. Anyway. There's 2 optional boss fights in the game, in the impact site, and the one that appears will actually depend on what day it is. If I remember correctly, the optional bosses here will only appear after the 5th day. The Mamuto will appear on even number days, and the second optional boss fight will appear on odd number days. This enemy actually became a regular enemy in Pikmin 2. It's not that difficult, it's more like a regular enemy that only appears once in this game. It's not really that much of a boss fight. This enemy cannot actually kill your Pikmin. All it does is that it slams them into the ground, but it's not necessarily a bad thing, because when that happens, they'll immediately become flowers, if I remember correctly. And now it's destroyed. How sad. So yeah, if you want your Pikmin to become flowers quickly, this is the best place to do it. But doing so will sacrifice a day for your game, so that's sad. Anyway, the Mamuta, after it's defeated, and you probably want to go pluck your Pikmin again. But like I said, they become flowers immediately, so it's not necessarily a bad thing. I've also read that the Smoky Frog is actually a younger version of the Mamuta. I'm not entirely sure what makes this a thing. So don't have to be wise just how the Smoky Frog and the Mamuta are related, because I don't know. Let's go get all of our Pikmin back. Next up, we're gonna be fighting the next optional boss fight in the Impact site. This is the final one in the game, and it is just as easy as this one. So, let's go. The Impact site. I already said that in the video, but I don't care. And now it is time to face the final boss of Pikmin. It's gonna be terrifying. It's gonna be like Godzilla. It's gonna be the most evil thing ever. Actually, it's not, because we already fought the final boss of the game. This boss fight is... I'm not entirely sure how to rate it on the difficulty scale, because if you don't know what you're doing, it can be very, very difficult. But if you know what you're doing, this is probably the easiest thing ever. You want to make sure you have all blue Pikmin, because if you do, this boss fight, you will have absolutely no trouble with it if you only have the blues. If you have red or yellows, then you will have a difficult time with it. But now it's time to face the Goolix. I think that's its name. I'm not entirely sure. But what we want to do is that we want to attack the metal thing. This is actually a pretty cool boss fight. It has a brain, it has a metal thing. The only attack this thing has, aside from being completely made out of water, is that the brain will ram into the metal thing. It doesn't really do much. I don't think it really destroys a whole lot of Pikmin, so there's really no need to worry. I'm just going to let them continue on fighting it while I go look for my other Pikmin. As they appear to be inside the box. You Pikmin. Yeah, because it's entirely made out of water, it's not recommended that you fight this thing with red and yellow. And as you saw, the short amount of time that it took me to go look for the other Pikmin, this thing's already halfway defeated. So this is not a difficult boss fight by any means. Yeah, not much else to say. Just only use your blue Pikmin and use them to attack the metal thing. Now let me just say, for GameCube quality graphics, that is really impressive to look at. Sure, it might not be anything like Pikmin 3, but it's still really cool. And with that, we're gonna just end off this Let's Play. So, thank you all for watching this Let's Play of Pikmin, and until next time, later to you. Oh yeah.